Welcome back to the postgame. Joining us now is Professor Ben Burgis. He's the author of Give Them an Argument, Logic for the Left, and he does a regular segment with us called The Debunk. Ben, what are we debunking tonight?
Yeah, so a few days ago, Ben Shapiro went on BBC, and he did a really good job. I think it's generally agreed that he killed it, and he came out looking really good.
Yep.
So you guys did find, a few things to criticize on the Majority Report on Friday, but we thought we'd revisit the part of it where he and the interviewer were talking about abortion rights.
Yes, and we have it queued up. Are you ready? Should we play it now?
Let's do it.
All right.
Decent ideas.
Some of the ideas that are popular in your side of politics would seem to take us back to the Dark Ages. Georgia, new abortion laws, which you are much in favor of, that a woman who miscarries could get 30 years. A Georgian woman who travels to another state for an abortion procedure could get 10 years. These are extreme hard policies.
Well, okay, a couple of things. One, I'm not sure. I mean, frankly, I don't know whether are you an objective journalist or are you an opinion journalist?
I'm a journalist that asks questions.
Okay, so you're a supposedly objective journalist calling policies with which you disagree barbaric and suggesting only one side of the political aisle has ideas. So I just want to point out that I wish you would at least be honest in your own biases.
Mr. Shapiro, I know that broadcasting in America is now so polarized that on one program you only have the left and another one you just have the right. My job is to question those who have strong views and put an alternative to them. If you were an anti-abortion person, I would be putting pro-abortion questions to you. But you are
really would you call the pro-choice position?
So why don't you just answer my question,
sir? I'm happy to answer your question. Please answer this one. Would you suggest that a late-term abortion is brutal?
I'm not taking a view on this issue. I'm asking you the questions.
Sir, you just suggested the pro-life position is inherently brutal and terrible, so I'm asking you, as an objective journalist, would you ask the same question to a pro-choice advocate by calling their position brutal and horrible?
What I'm asking you is that why is it that a bill banning abortions after a woman has been pregnant for 6 weeks is not a return to the Dark Ages? What's your answer?
My answer is something called science. Human life exists at conception. It ought to be protected.
Okay, Ben, I would say not good on the style points, which is my focus, but he did say that his answer is something called science. Can you answer science, Ben?
No, I mean, if it follows from science, then I guess we should all change our position on this.
Right.
That's it.
Fucking science.
So it's worth noting, by the way, for anybody who might be hearing this for the first time, that the interviewer is, shall we say, not a comrade.
Oh no, not a comrade.
This is a fairly right-wing Tory who's asking him these questions. But that's all style. So on the argument itself, it's worth noticing two things here. One of which is that Shapiro is equating the specific law in Georgia with the pro-life position as if these were inseparable, which ties into something we've talked about with Shapiro before, which is that he's really, really fond of false dilemmas. Right. That, you either say A or you say B, and there's no other choice. And, of course, I don't agree with any pro-life position, but even if you did agree with such a position, that doesn't necessarily mean that you'd have to agree that this specific medieval draconian law in Georgia was the right way to go. In fact, I seem to recall back in 2016 when Trump was widely seen as having stepped in it by saying that there should be some kind of penalty to women who had abortions, that lots of pro-lifers back then were saying, no, we don't advocate that at all. So, him saying, I have, that's the pro-life position. Are you saying the pro-life position is barbaric? Would be a little bit like if one of us said, I don't think Stalin did anything wrong. They said, really? You don't think Stalin did anything wrong? They said, well, what? I mean, I'm a socialist. What do you want? I'm a socialist.
Right.
But like that, there's
you don't respect socialism as a philosophy.
Right. Exactly. And then the other thing is this claim that this follows from science. So this is a pretty textbook example of a is-ought leap. So you're saying that based on a descriptive claim, a claim that's about how the world is, you're inferring something about how things should be, right? So science can maybe tell you that a fetus is biologically human, which of course isn't in dispute. Nobody denies that, right? It's not like the pro-choice position is that, fetuses start out, as raccoons biologically and, only somehow gradually acquire human DNA. That's not the issue. The issue is whether being alive and biologically human is sufficient for having the moral rights of a person. And of course, science can't tell you that, right? You need morality to tell you that you need to think about what it is that you value in the first place. Why is it that we think that a person has certain kinds of moral rights? Is it because of the genetics? If there were aliens who could think and feel the way that we do, would we think that they didn't have any moral rights? If scientists could find a way to keep a human hand alive in a laboratory, would we think that like ending the experiment would be murder? That's at the very least not obvious, and he hasn't provided any argument for any of that. He's just saying science proves this irrelevant claim that fetuses are genetically human. Who's denying that? Therefore, abortion shouldn't be allowed, which just obviously doesn't follow.
Well, there you have it. However, you haven't answered my claim, sir. Sir.
I don't think you say sir enough.
Oh,
I think you need more sirs.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I think we could agree that the way that he kept calling that guy sir in an increasingly whining, aggrieved way definitely made him sound like a winner and
yes.
like somebody who got the better of the exchange.
Did you hear on earlier in the post game? Did you hear Matt's musical accompaniment to the to Shapiro?
No, I don't.
Well, check it out later. All right, Ben Burgis, The Debunked. The book is Give Them an Argument, Logic for the Left. Thanks as always, Ben. It's available. Go order it now. You've just watched a Michael Brooks show video, and you can watch all of our full main live shows every Tuesday night at around 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and subscribe to get all of the clips you want. We're covering the globe. We're focusing on international relations, the intellectual dark web. We're having fun. We're doing deep dives with a lot of amazing guests. Of course, become a patron for the whole thing at patreon.com/TMBS, or subscribe to this YouTube channel and help us keep growing and get that content out there. Subscribe below.